Good morning and welcome to Sport for Business. We're joined at the launch of the new Dublin gear with O'Neill's and AIG by Niamh Collins, one of the stars of the 3 in a row All-Ireland winning team from Dublin, a stalwart in the full back line. You're very welcome, Niamh.
Hi Rob, thanks for having me.
Great to see you. Great to see the new jersey as well. Hopefully we'll get to see it in action on the pitch over the coming weeks. Tell me, you're 2 weeks away, a little over 2 weeks away from the opening round of the championship, playing against Donegal in Cavan. What goes through your mind when you hear all of the numbers and levels of restriction and things like that coming down? Can you just focus on the next training session, the next match, or does it begin to creep in the fact that maybe this will happen, maybe this won't?
I suppose internally our own setup has been very good, and within our own panel I wouldn't have any concerns. Everyone's taking above and beyond the measures that they can to make sure that we are keeping each other safe and that we're able to continue. So for the next couple of weeks while we're training, that concern wouldn't really be in the forefront of my mind. Obviously you worry when you see the cases creeping up and counties, potentially going into level 4, level 5, that, we could see the championship maybe being pulled for safety reasons. But I think, if we were to get to that stage, you'd have to accept that, public health is absolutely the number one priority. And while it would be unfortunate having kind of geared up your energy to come back and play a championship, I think we'd all agree that if the call was made, it'd be the right call.
And it's a shortened championship anyway this year. It might suit Dublin. You didn't have a Leinster championship to play in, so you've got Donegal and Waterford, and then you'll be heading hopefully towards an All-Ireland final the Sunday before Christmas. That's going to be strange.
Absolutely mental. Yeah, I think it's going to be probably one of the most dangerous championships anyone has ever played. It's pretty much straight knockout. 3 teams in a group, but only one team is going to get out. So every match you play is going to have to be your All-Ireland final for that day, because there's really no room for error. I think it's really exciting. I think, that kind of structure makes for very intense games. You don't have any kind of games that, won't come to, won't be of... that won't be of importance. So yeah, we're very much preparing for the fact that every match is going to have to be an All-Ireland final in our heads.
And you've been with the Dublin setup for a number of years now. You've been there not only for the glory of the last 3, but you were there for a few of the defeats to Cork before that as well. So you'd be well mentally prepared for everything that comes at you. Has it been different this year? Because you had your full club campaign before the championship even came onto the horizon. And you've been very successful there. You're a star of the Foxtrot Cavan team that's won Dublin at senior. You're in the Leinster final now. How has this year been different in terms of the previous ones?
Yeah, well, I suppose first and foremost, the club summer was great. It was really the first opportunity I've had as an adult to give that kind of time to my club. We had a full 2.5 months, and I almost felt like I was getting to know people again, because you're usually blowing in at the end of a 9-month championship with county, trying to gear up for club games. So it was a great summer from that perspective, really exciting, and then obviously really worthwhile being able to come out with the win. In terms of coming back into the county panel, yeah, it's been all guns blazing, I suppose, since September 14th. You not only have to bring your body up to speed for the inter-county game, but you're also having to bring your mind up to speed straight away. You campaign, and then a couple of months in the summer to get ready for your championship matches, whereas this has been 6 weeks, mind and body all at once, and also trying to prepare for the fact that it's going to be wet, it's going to be heavy, and it's going to be a different kind of football to what we're going to be used to in July. So it's been a whirlwind, but it's been very enjoyable so far. For me, I have to say it's been an incredibly important mental break from my day, working at home, living at home, being able to go out to football, to see my colleagues, and to think about something other than COVID for an hour and a half has been incredibly important to me. So a whirlwind, but a great whirlwind all the same.
And you've had Sinead Goldrick back with club and county as well from her Australian adventure. You're a qualified electronic engineer. I guess there's no prospect or desire on your part to head down under to sample the semi-professional life?
Yeah, like I've kind of said, you know, in the past few years, I've had other goals professionally that has kind of kept that out of my mind. I recently completed a master's in Smurfit in 2019 and went on to get a new job the following year. So they were really my priorities, was to, you know, excel there. In terms of, you know, playing professionally, I think, you know, anyone would be lying if they said they wouldn't love to go play professional sport at some point in their career. But for me, my main priority at the moment is here in Ireland and with the Dublin senior ladies. One thing I have to say was it was very cool to see Breed Stack going back, you know, to play after a couple of years in retirement. You know, it's amazing to see someone able to pick up after 2 years off the pitch and go back and get a professional contract. Incredibly impressive. So yeah, look, it's an exciting thought, but it's not on my radar.
But never say never. You're in there in the Dublin setup. You've got your new Dublin jersey on. Let's have a quick look at that, see how it looks.
Yes, we've a nice few stripes here and a lovely little Clia ombre at the bottom. So yeah, very nice, very bright, nice bright colours for a dark winter championship.
Very smart. And it's always notable how AIG and Dublin GAA always bring in all four codes. So ladies football, camogie, the hurling and the football as well. Is that something that really sort of filters through the entire setup, not just on these nice days in front of the cameras and everything like that? But we've heard a lot about the challenges that are faced by dual players and competing codes and things like that. But in Dublin, it seems to work out a little better at senior level anyway.
Yeah, I think the consistency of the AIG sponsorship across the four codes is really, really important. And I think it's a key message for young players as well, you know, to see that kind of alignment between the camogie and ladies football and the hurling and the men's football. I think it sends a really good message down to the underage teams. Yeah, I think it's really important and it's the way forward. I think, you know, teams need to be backed by these corporations for things to grow, and ladies football in particular and camogie, you know, if people put their money into it, it will grow and it will blossom, and you know there'll be no qualms about it being any lesser or any kind of inferior sport. It just needs the opportunities.
Great. Just before I let you go, I know you've been involved in the 20 by 20 campaign a couple of times over the course of the summer and the last couple of years. An exciting event next week with Martina Navratilova, not quite coming to Dublin, but certainly on screen anyway. What do you feel has been the most important impact of that whole campaign and raising the profile of women's sport for young girls coming into it?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things. I think the first thing I think the 2020 campaign does brilliantly is it's made an effort to reach into every single sport, you know, not just the sports that are on the pages of the newspapers. You know, it's looking at, you know, things from equestrian to ladies football to golf. It's really branching out across every sport that exists for girls and saying, you know, every one of you can compete at the highest level possible, and it's important that we back you for this. So I think that's been really impactful because, you know, not everyone's interested in football. You know, some people are interested in other things. So I think the campaign has done really brilliantly there to make sure it's pretty widespread. But then also just, you know, sometimes people don't have the angle to write on ladies football because they might know the sport well enough, or ladies sport in general. So 2020 has kind of given people an angle to get interested in ladies games, and you know, it's kind of then naturally blossomed, and people's interest has come with that. So I think it's just giving people a reason to look. And then once they look, they see that this is actually very interesting and this is actually very competitive. And I'm actually going to give this my attention now, not just because it's a headline, but because I want to.
Well, the very best of luck with all of that continued role modelling for young people coming into the sport, and for what will be an incredibly busy few weeks ahead, especially against Donegal, first up in the TG Cahir All Ireland Ladies Championship. And thank you very much for this morning, Niamh Collins.
Thank you.